been like a long time since I've been doing regular, consistent videos. It's been a really interesting journey, really interesting ride. And maybe a couple of the videos I've done, I still don't know what I'm going to do with these, but I feel compelled to just document things. So here I am right now. It's mid-August, and I'm at Crowley Lake, which is halfway between Bishop and Mammoth, California. We're not on the lake, we're across the highway from the lake, but this is a Bureau of Land Management managed campground that doesn't have any hookups, but it has picnic tables. It's getting to the year anniversary of when my dad died, as he's really been on like heavily on my mind for obvious reasons. I still have a lot of grief bursts. My days out here are peaceful. I am content, but I'm also missing a whole lot of what my life used to be. Um, but I'm coming to terms with it. Today is pack up and or hitch up and go day. I call it hitch up and go day. We're leaving where we are now in Crowley Lake to go up to Mammoth and do some boondocking in the forest for a couple days. The plan is to spend the rest of summer in Mammoth where it's cooler, and then after Labor Day, head over to the Williams Flagstaff, Arizona area and spend a month up there while I wait for the weather to cool off and go back down to the ranch, back at the ranch in October. And then I'll stay there for a while, take care of some trailer maintenance, hunker down. My novel, Dead Air, is coming along. And so that's also high on my priority list. So stick and put and being in a place where I have electricity and water and people and support, friendship sounds really inviting. So that's a general idea about what's happening with me. So the focus has been a lot on my dad. I still have grief bursts. Grief doesn't end. It doesn't end. It's not always as painful. Grief is just one of the many experiences that we have, and the emotions that are attached to it are what we really need to contend to. It's not the grief itself. It's the emotions attached to the grief. The emotions are, the stages of grief: depression, bargaining, anger, acceptance. And I always forget one of them. And I'm a grief specialist. I don't really feel like I have a whole lot of anger about my dad dying. And a lot of times that's what the anger is. You have anger. There's anger about different things. When sometimes it's just anger that how he suffered toward the end and didn't need to, or the anger about the family that didn't show up when they should have, or the feeling of anger that those are things I'm working on. But then there's the missing my dad, and writing Dead Air is my tribute to honor my dad and our work together. It became amplified when my dad died. I've been working on Dead Air. The idea for Dead Air is probably 17, 18 years old. And now it's done. The first draft is done, and I'm halfway through the second draft of fixing it. And I've already reached out to the developmental editor that I'd hired before to help me with it to review it again. And then there's so many different groups on social media that you can join in on. And believe it or not, there's a group on Facebook called I Take Pictures of Transmitter Sites. So this gentleman had posted a link to his photographs of pictures that he's taken at Mount Wilson. And they're beautiful. So I reached out to him and asked him if I could use one of his photos on my book cover, and he agreed. So now I have somebody working on the cover for the book, because the goal for me to launch it come April, like months away. I have plenty of time, but there's a lot of work that still needs to be done on it. I really enjoy the process. What are my expectations about this book? I have a different approach to marketing it. I've been studying and learning about how to market books. I marketed my Apple a Day and stuff like that, which was, I wouldn't say hugely successful. I think that you really need a big advertising budget in order to properly market something on social media. My aim is to do it the old-fashioned way and reach out to people that I think would really enjoy this novel, and those are people who already work in radio. And I know a lot of them, and I know a lot of people who know them. I want to get the book cover designed, and at least the front of it, and probably the back blurb as well, and print them up as a greeting card and send those out to people in radio, and then ask them to take a picture of themselves with the card, which looks like the book, in whatever place they are at, whether it's in the studio or they go up to the transmitter to take a picture. So that's my idea. So wish me luck, because I have people I need to reach out to. There's still the artwork that needs to be done, but I am excited about the project and its progress. probably just a hobby. It's fine. It would be like being out here and I bring a sketch pad or I bring an easel out and I paint. It's a beautiful setting. This is a great place to write. And that's what I'm doing. And I highly recommend allowing yourself to get bored. Don't overschedule yourself. This has become such a nice, pleasant, slow lifestyle. I'm still working. I'm still a therapist. I'm doing all of that. And I still love it, but I've managed to not overcommit myself to anything else. And I know that it took me being out in a trailer and being in the wilderness to finally stop the pattern of business meetings and networking and volunteering and all of that, which is great for building a career. It's great for being involved in your community. But I had been doing that since I was 16 years old and in different communities. And I was just over it. I was just, okay, I need a whole new thing because going to business meetings and becoming overly involved, it prevents you from any kind of boredom. And if you don't ever get bored, you'll never start exploring things that interest you or that you're passionate about. The things that was passionate about 20 years ago or even 10 years ago aren't things that I'm passionate about now. And it's just a matter of things change and your perspective changes. And then if that's the situation, then don't try to fight the flow of maintaining what was, because it doesn't need to be there anymore. You can change and you can shift. And it's not that I never did it. I have been through many metamorphoses in my lifetime, and this is just the next one. And I called this in the very beginning. This is not the next chapter of my life. This is the sequel. I literally left everything behind and started all over in a travel trailer. I'm looking, it's over here, 25-foot travel trailer. And right now I'm in Mammoth, where I was about 25 degrees hotter than it is right now. I'm chasing 70-something degree weather, which is nice. And I do want to hunker down for the winter. So those are the plans. So I thought that since I was in such a beautiful place, I would do another video update. Where are we going? Why are we here? And I guess more to come on that because I think about that all the time. And I'm looking forward to going to the mountains. I'm in the mountains, but I'm going further into the mountains to boondock and dry camp in the forest. Meanwhile, the adventures of Kelly and Kismet continue.